Hey everybody, and so it begins. Here we go. I got the what is it? The font loaded and a message in here, and it's pretty straightforward. I got to tell you, I expected this. Like, okay, so what happens is, like when you're trying to learn something that's very, very novel, um, like you kind of have to unlearn a bunch of stuff that you already think, bad ideas that you have, and then build from scratch. And man, does ChatGPT just shorten that runway. Um, I honestly think it ended up taking me like 10 minutes, 10 minutes to do this. I honestly think without ChatGPT, it would have taken me 40 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. Uh, and it was just like, and honestly, but what ChatGPT gave me to begin with was not accurate. It was not, it had way too much stuff. Like it was very wordy and had like a bunch of stuff that I didn't need in there. And then uh, it didn't quite work. And then, so I had to go back and forth with it a few times before it was working. I do think that that's exactly like how it is. Like, even if you were going to be working with another person and you're going back and forth and they absolutely knew, it takes a bit for them to completely understand what you want and for you to express exactly what you want. I don't think this is going to the Chat GPT as it is right now would end the role of a software developer, and that's just because I think that you still have to have some foundational understanding of coding just to even be able to formulate the right question. And then once you've formulated the right question, you still have to kind of parse through what it gives you and build the right stuff. You still need that programming person. So that's one thing. I do think that it's going to make software development faster. And what I have found is there's an insatiable hunger for software. So it doesn't matter, like, no matter how fast the code changes so that you can get stuff done faster, the requests for more stuff just accelerates just as fast. Um, I do think that it will be very good for leverage. Like, what happens is maybe if you went back to like 1996 and people, like a million different people, 100,000 different people are writing code. With time, that sort of the way the code is sort of slowly coalesce into a specific way of doing it, right? So maybe the 100,000 people are doing it 10,000 different ways in week one, and then by 2 years later, all 100,000 people are doing it the exact same way. Like, that sort of way of doing it just eventually goes through there. I think ChatGPT has the potential to make to shrink that time. So instead of it taking a year, like in 3 weeks, everybody's kind of coding the exact same way. Now, on the other side is, will that get corrupted? Will people with bad intentions sort of use that tool to sort of guide everybody down a dark path? I mean, they won't. I don't think they would purposely make it a dark path. It's just like, will we all go down into some anti-pattern just because somebody has an agenda that has control over the AI, and then next thing you know, we have to go down this anti-pattern and crash and burn there for a while until we finally realize, oh my gosh, this is a terrible way to do this. And through other mechanisms outside of the chat of the AI, then we kind of eventually coalesce into a good solution. I bet you that's going to happen. So in some ways, it could very, very much slow down software development. Um, but it was really helpful, really, really helpful. Thank you, ChatGPT. So basically, this is a new concept. Inside of my ThreeJS service, I created a constructor and I have this new concept of a loader, and this font loader is part of ThreeJS. So if I do a Control F on this, what we'll see is that up here I've loaded the font loader from this three examples, three JSM loaders. So this I'm convinced is coming from the all the files in node modules. So that's how that comes into being. Um, then it wants to load things from assets font, this file, and then here's where I say what I would like it to name it, and then here is where it gets named, where it gets used, right here. So we've loaded the font and all that. Now we're creating a new geometry, and then that new geometry has these hard-coded values, and then we create a material and a mesh, and we add it to our scene. This obviously, I think this belongs in the constructor, this guy right here, so that we can get access to it. And it may actually be able to be out here. I don't know. We might be able to, may not have to do it in the constructor. We might be able to execute it in here. I guess I could check real quick, see what happens. I won't save, but I think the IDE will tell me if this doesn't make sense. Okay, no, it doesn't. Oh, I don't want the const in front of it. Yeah, so it's happy with that. So I probably can move this out, and then the rest of this code would be in the create mesh. So that's what I'm gonna have to do next. So let me just, man, I didn't realize there were so many changes. Oh, okay, yeah. So these are all the files that I brought into the assets, and there's really no reason to look at them. I'll just show you. Yeah, Ken Pixel, TTF, readmes, and all that. In ThreeJS, though, that's where we can actually, it's useful to look at the actual changes. So yeah, that was the only actual change. It's probably more useful to look over here, and so basically in this assets, I created a fonts folder, and then that. Now, in the current ThreeJS or Angular, when you build an Angular application today, as of today, what, June 7th, 2024, if you create a new Angular application, it's not like this. What you get is a function, a directory called public, and then you are free to create assets and fonts. That's what I want it to be like. This is fine. I thought it was great, but I mean, it's obvious that Google and the Angular team have decided to go a different direction. And even though they didn't like officially announce this, like if you look up any what's changed in Angular videos and all that, I've never seen that, anyone talk about that. But even though it's not like that, what's going to happen is every new student and person that learns Angular is going to expect to see that public directory. And it makes sense because I'm pretty sure that's how Node does it as well. So like, I think that's becoming the de facto standard, is to have that public and then have everything out of that public directory. So this is going to, sort of, it's just going to really make your application look stale if you don't keep up. Everything you can do to keep your application looking kind of shiny and new is worth doing, because these applications, when you build them, they have to sort of justify their existence, and if they start to look old and not very good, they lose that justification. But anyways, yeah. So basically, the loader function has a load function, or the loader object has a load function, and that load function accepts a string, which is the path to JSON, and that apparently describes how it works. You get to name however you want to use it, and then you basically create a geometry just like anything else, but it has all these other different variables. So the next thing I'm going to do is update this application so that it's more modern. You know, it's basically located the way according to Angular 18 standards. And happy coding, everybody. Bye.